Hello and welcome to the Guitar Collection. In my hands today is this beautiful Cedar Doubletop by the Canadian luthier Martin Blackwell from the year 2019. Now, Martin Blackwell is a luthier based in Canada, near Vancouver in Roberts Creek. And he's been building some of my favorite double tops on the planet for quite some time now. This particular guitar is a balsa double top. You can see actually the chevroning pattern going through the top here, which is that balsa layer in between the layers of cedar. He has this really cool rosette, which is so different than the typical mosaics, especially when you see the wedges that he uses. In this case, they are red, and a lot of times you'll see maple wedges. It's such a distinctive design. When you see these guitars or you see a photo of them or even see them from an audience, you can really identify that it's a Blackwell. And it's one of the few really groundbreaking, I think, rosettes that I really like. So I'm a huge fan of it, of course. And then when you look down here at the tie block of the bridge, you'll see a lot of this same pattern that is echoed from the outside ring of the rosette. Very nice little dots, nice and distinctive. You'll see it has a slightly elevated fingerboard for easier access to the upper frets. An armrest here, which is somewhat of a matte finish along with the bridge. And then along the sides, you can see this really nice maple trim, maple purflings that just give this cedar top such a beautiful glow to it. You'll see on the sides a little soundport here so that you can more easily hear the guitar from behind. It also raises the main air resonance on this guitar by about a half step if you have it covered or open. And on the back and sides, you'll see this really nice piece of ziricote. It's a striking piece, lots of little lines and waves along the back and side here. The neck is fairly full shape here. It is very C-shaped with maybe a little bit extra thickness. Not super thick, not super thin. If anything, it's on the thin side. Up on the headstock here, you'll see this design. I've got to imagine it's a bit of a ruck-inspired headstock design. Nice Alessi tuners on this one. Now, when it comes to the sound of this guitar, I have very opinionated thoughts about Blackwell's guitars because I feel like I know them pretty well now of many different types. Maple backs with spruce tops, Nomex tops in between layer, balsa, half Nomex. This one's all balsa. Anyways, when it comes to the sound of these guitars, I find that these are particularly dark sounding instruments. No matter the wood combination, they sound very, very dark until you start to push into the guitars. So for instance, when I play very gently and lightly here, you get this really gentle, thick sound, and especially on the trebles. You get this really bulbous sound that is not abrasive at all. And I think this is one of those charming qualities that this guitar has that makes it so enjoyable to play. You really don't have to be super careful with your nails. It just creates a good sound for you. And I love that about this guitar. I like a lot of guitars on the opposite sides of things where they're extremely sensitive too, but that makes me enjoy playing this guitar so much. Now, one criticism that people might say about these guitars is that they are too dark, which I do not feel is true. For certain types of players, though, it might be. If you are someone who does not really like to push the string down a whole lot, for instance, you want a guitar that is extremely responsive, that is just touchy, where it'll pick up all of the noises, then you might immediately playing this guitar feel that it's a little bit too dark. However, if you're the type of player that likes to move the string a lot, really push into the guitar, then I think you would be very, very satisfied with these guitars, maybe beyond any other. Because when you push, you get that right amount of bite to the notes. See, these basses transform from being this bubbly brook, right? the bubbly brook sound, right? Brook is in B-R-O-O-K, right? And then you get a lot more bite when you push in. But you know, I'm pushing pretty hard. And I think that's where the appeal of the brightness of this guitar kicks in. And you know, so many people are choosing Blackwell guitars these days, whether it's competitors, conservatory students, recording artists, concert artists. I mean, you have, for instance, Leonel Alejandra and Drago Chilier, who were prize winners, and Leonela winning the 2024 GFA, both playing Blackwell guitars. You have people like Gabriel Bianco. You have Adam Holzman, who recently got a Blackwell guitar and has been playing it a lot. Rene Izquierdo, both of these people being former professors of mine. You have Drew Henderson, Tariq Harb, Chad Ibison, and Janet Grahovic, which are both in a duo together. I mean, these guitars are being played around the world, and the list just keeps on going on and on. And I think it's a lot of these characteristics that I'm trying to share with you today as to why people are choosing them. And of course, Martin is a really great guy to work with as well. So, gosh, let's get a little bit more into the sound here. Let's talk about the colors. I would say it's not the most extremes. It doesn't have the extremes of the color ranges. For instance, like a spruce top guitar of his, or a traditional spruce guitar like a Hauser, or maybe even some of the double top makers that create super responsive double tops. But everything can be extracted out of this. So really what I mean is where you place your hand does matter a lot on the guitar, but it doesn't get you to extremes. Where I think the character and color really shines on this guitar, where you get that unique Blackwell sound, is the way you handle the strings, the way you attack the strings, whether you go with a really warm, lush sound like, it just sings with this character that is so beautiful and so reliable. You know, you don't hit one note and it sinks and the next one and it spikes. It's just such a pleasant, beautiful guitar to play. And you know, if I test it with a piece that I play on every guitar, you'll see how the sustain is such a beautiful characteristic of this instrument too. This is Prelude 11 by Tárrega. It just has such a lovely sound that you don't really have to try very hard in order to get notes to sustain or to get notes to sound this, to have this beautiful round sound to them. It's very nice. Let's try a little bit of Endecha by Tárrega. You know, the sound is just so round and there's so little offensive articulation to the notes. You know, when I play it, like when I do this, I feel like you barely hear the articulation, right? I mean, I can make it come out, but I think it's what makes this guitar a really legato music making machine. Well, anyways, congratulations to Martin Blackwell for creating yet another beautiful instrument. This one being 6 years old and having such a character to it that I really enjoy. If you are curious about this guitar, you can check it out at guitarcollection.com. You'll see a full album of photos and a description there that will likely echo what I'm saying in this video. If you are interested in, possibly getting the next Blackwell guitar that comes in, please write to me at evan@guitarcollection.com and definitely subscribe to the email list on guitarcollection.com because then you'll get notified about new instruments as they become available. Well, thank you all so much. I hope you are having a very nice summer, and don't forget to check out my live streams every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.